In today's episode, I'm going to be sharing with you the one thing you need to focus on before jumping on your plan actions to go after your goals. So stay tuned. Welcome to Embody Your Best
Life.
I created a new habit in my morning, and this is where it's been inspiring a lot of my work of sharing with you right here on the podcast episode or even over on YouTube. But as well, it kind of brings to light certain things that we hardly talk about, but that can create the biggest, biggest shift for you today if you implement this one thing today. So recently, I think I've read this book maybe 3 times, but recently I've been kind of taking the time to truly integrate it because I created a big shift right now in terms of my business. And this is going to help me kind of get the goals and the results that I am seeking. And the book is actually called The One Thing. I don't know if you've heard about it, The One Thing, and I should really get the name. It's from Gary something. I'm going to actually just link it right below in the episode. But I actually do love that book because I'll give you an example in terms of like health or creating your own business. Very often, let's talk about health because I talk a lot about health and wellness, is that we get into a health plan and it's like 21,000 things we need to do, right? So let's say you want to lose some weight, you want to feel better in your body, you want to boost your confidence, you want to let go of your bloating, like so many reasons why we kind of look at our health to create a certain goal. And then we're like, okay, this is my goal. These are the 50 things I'm going to do every single day to get me to that goal. And I want to maintain my goal. However, just saying that, just thinking about that, and I've gone through it when I was going through my health and weight issues, we end up wanting to do it all. But guess what happens? When we do too many things at the same time, we get overwhelmed. We also get like overexcited in the beginning, and then we actually get overly exhausted. And that actually leads to quitting it all, burnout, and then going back to exactly the starting point. But we don't always get back to the same starting point. We go back in a moment of feeling guilty, feeling stupid, feeling like we're never going to get that goal. And here's the thing, and this is where the book, The One Thing, actually brings that is quite interesting, and we don't talk about it enough. It's not doing more, it's actually doing less. When you're trying to do more, as many things as you can, remember, you have to focus on, can I keep up with all this for the long term? And very often we can't. We say, I'm just going to give myself a little push and that's going to be smooth sailing. But it doesn't, because when you end up doing it all, you burn out and then you crash. And then you try again and then you crash. And you're like, oh, I'm going to try just a little bit harder. I'm going to be more committed. I'm going to get a support. I'm going to get a coach. I'm just going to like push through it. But again, you shouldn't be pushing through it every single day, because pushing through it makes the journey so exhausting, you will never reach the goal. I'll be very honest. You might have reached the goal, but did you maintain it? Because that's one thing to get the goal. The second thing is to maintain it. It's one thing to lose the weight, but the most important thing is to maintain it. It's one thing to stop binge eating. It's another thing to actually live binge free. It's one thing to maintain your business success, like 10K months, 50K months, 100K months, but it's another thing to actually maintain it. So I really want you to always focus on maintaining something. Is not by doing it all, is by choosing the tasks. Let it be the one thing that will give you the biggest leap forward. Let that sink in. It's not by doing it all, feeling like you're so busy doing it all that you're going to get the results, because then it kind of plays on your ego. You're like, I've been doing this and this and this and this. And it's like, to-do list, check, 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 check. But it's not checking off your to-do list that will get things done. Not checking off your agenda, you did it all, is going to get things done in terms of getting the results you're seeking. But when you're looking at any type of goal, let it be your health, your fitness, your business, anything at all, it's not by doing it all that you're going to get results, because that is the quickest way to burn out. It's actually understanding that in life, you can actually do less, but those few things that you do, maybe that one thing that you do, will create the biggest ripple effect and create that momentum to help create an impact on the other things. For example, I'll use health as an example. Let's say you want to lose weight. You might be starting, and I've seen this like online a little bit everywhere. They gave you like a detox plan and you need to cut this, stop this. You need to eat organic, no gluten, no dairy, no food. I don't know what's left in that list, but everything is no. And you're feeling good, like you're like mentally, yeah, I'm going to cut all this out. But there's so many things that you're cutting out that you can't maintain it. And I'll be honest with you, working in the health industry for 21, almost 22 years, going drastic like this has never created lasting results. It's created eating disorders. It's created weight struggles. It has never created lasting results because you don't need to detox. But imagine if I told you your body has an amazing way. If you do a few daily actions, that's going to give you 80 times the result of taking all that out. And guess what? You can actually do those few things for the long term and maintain it so much easier than cutting those 50 foods out of your diary, out of your food journal, out of your fridge. More tempting, less anxiety causing, more realistic. You don't have to put your life on hold to implement these 1,000,001 things. You can just implement a few. This as well goes in terms of the Pareto principle. Usually 20% of the things that we do creates 80% of the results. Because food, fitness, business, social media, relationships, you don't want to do it all. But if you're able to find the few things that create the biggest ripple effect, that creates a big shift. I'll give you an example. And this is really what a lot of clients come with me. We talk a lot about in terms of like the nutrition, the nourishment, the fitness, the mindset, like so many different things, anxiety, stress, breathing techniques. And very often, many of my clients tell me once they start exercising, their food habits change. Because when you integrate fitness into your routine, again, it can be 5 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. You don't need to go every single day, an hour, 2 hours. Like, chill. Let's do things slowly and realistic. It actually creates a positive impact because when you're training, you're releasing happy hormones. When you're training, it decreases your stress level. It decreases your cortisol, which is a stress hormone. It actually decreases your cravings. It helps you sleep better. It regulates your hunger and your fullness signals. So you see how just fitness, one activity, has a ripple effect on everything else around you. The sleep, the food, the stress, the cravings, the portion control, the mood. That's what I mean, is when you're looking in terms of your goal, it is okay to write down everything that you think you should do. But I really want you to look down at the things that you know will create the biggest impact. Because it's one thing, I'm going to control my portions. It's another thing, I'm training every day that helps me with my muscle mass, with my cardiovascular health, with my joints, with my flexibility. And on top of it, it helps with portion control. It helps with stress management. It helps with sleep. It helps with happy hormones. You see where I'm going with this? It's not doing it all that's going to help you. It's not getting this task and then check. It's really taking a step back and realizing every single day. And if you really like, I do recommend you grabbing that book. It really has some amazing examples. I think I read it I think now I'm at the 4th time I'm reading it because there's all these amazing nuggets that really brings forward what I've been helping my clients bring in. But it kind of gives me a bit of a refresher of like empowering exactly how I want to be coaching and mentoring my clients. And here's the thing. We always need to learn and evolve. There's always new things to kind of grow and to be able to implement as coaches. But when you're able to look at that and you're taking a step back, okay, I don't need to do it all. I need to remember, I need to do less, but the things I choose to do, they might be actually harder to start. They kind of, like exercising, like, okay, let's find a YouTube channel, let's get a coach, let's go to the gym, anything. It might be a bit more of an effort, but the ripple effect on everything else in your life is 10 times better if you just focus on, I'm going to control my cravings. I'm not going to have chocolate anymore in the house. I'm going to cut all that sugar. But when you start exercising, the craving for that actually disappears. You don't even have to make the effort. And to create an effort to bring a fitness routine, to make it in a way that your body ends up craving fitness. And I do that with all my clients. It's honestly fascinating. And it's happened to me as well when I start creating this kind of routine with the system that I've brought in. know when you need to exercise. It's like, it's exercise time. It's like when you know it's lunchtime. For me, I'm like, oh, it's exercise time. I don't even have to look at my watch. I know that my body right now is craving the fitness routine that I've implemented and integrated and embodied in a certain way. So this is what I want to leave you with in terms of today. You need to do less, but you need to pick the ones that are going to create the biggest ripple effect. If you're able to integrate that, any goal you want to seek, it is within your reach. Very often, it's very hard to understand which one we should be focusing on, but just that. Do less, but take the ones that you know will create the biggest impact, the biggest ripple effect, and focus on that. And very often, focus on one goal per week. Don't change your food, your fitness, your sleep, your everything in one day. Honestly, road to overwhelm and exhaustion. Pick one thing to focus on every week. And if you want, this week, maybe go grab the book, The One Thing. It's going to really give you the vision and the explanation exactly behind that. We're going to be covering through different episodes here because I find that book fascinating, to be honest. But also look at the Pareto principle, which is very often 80% of our results is related to the 20% effort that we put in. Not everything creates an exchange. Not everything we do creates a result. Not everything, maybe a little result. But our aim is, what can I do that creates a result but has a ripple effect on everything else around it? And another thing I want to also mention is, I talk a lot about health because I truly believe your mental and your physical health is the core principle that we should all be focusing on. Because when you take care of your health, your physical and your mental health, it creates such a massive positive ripple effect on your business, on your finances, on your relationships, on your health, on everything. When you focus on your physical and mental health, it creates such a big ripple effect in every single area of your life. So if you feel like you're struggling in your business, like you feel like you should be like happy where you are, but you want to create you want to scale something, but something is off. You're not able to be as energized as before. You're not able to give as much as before. You don't feel as confident to show up on camera or to go kind of on a network mastermind. Very often it's really our physical and mental health, because when you take care of the most vital component that has the biggest ripple effect in every single area of your life, it's actually your body and your mind and your soul, which we're going to talk about as well in future episodes. So remember, health first, and everything else has a ripple effect around it. So I would love for you, if you get this book, message me, tell me which part you actually love, because I've read it 4 times and I keep reading it, and it's just, when there's such a good book that makes things so simple, simplicity is key. We overcomplicate things, we try to do it all, and then we end up doing nothing. Because it's one thing to be ambitious and driven, it's another thing to be overwhelmed and overexhausted, right? Driven and ambition is right now focusing on that one thing that creates the biggest ripple effect, so you actually can spend less time to get the results. You can spend other time doing other things, by enjoying things with your friends and your family, or even an amazing travel vacation while you're at it. So I hope you loved today's episode. Dina M will be here, and I'll catch you in the next episode. Bye for now.